Dear Chairman, my name is Kerry and I have supported Southend United, the club you currently own, for as long as I can remember. I wanted to share my story and feelings with you. These may be my words, but the sentiments belong to most of us who worship every other Saturday at the Hall. I first came to Roots Hall as an excited boy of 8 years old, way back in 1976. I came with my dad and grandfather. It was the only time we'd all football together. The occasions we did get to go were the real highlights in the grim days of the late 70s. The excitement of actually seeing your team in the flesh, being able to go to school and proudly talk about not supporting a London club or any team with no connection to where I come from. One day, I wanted to take my old man, but I never got the chance. But I did get to take my son, and one day, I'll get to take his. Well, that was the plan. Not so sure now. We're a club, founded in the pub, over the road. We play in a stadium, paid for and built by the fans. We're fairly unique and very special. It's been part of the town for over a century. It's the one thing we all have in common. Whether we go to games or not, if you're born here, you're a shrimper. I've been through the good times, and there have been some. May, 91, Ian Benjamin at Bury. 1,000 of us came tumbling down the Gig Lane terracing like a delirious tornado as we celebrated promotion to the second tier for the first time ever. If you listen hard, you can still hear the roar around Roots Hall as Freddie Eastwood's free kick slams into the back of the net in '06. A goal that saw off Fergie's Man United, Rooney, Ronaldo and the rest. Ben Reeves sending us to Wembley for the first time in 2013. He made me cry. Stephen McLaughlin and Michael Timlin will do it again in extra time 2 years later. The absolute madness and unbridled joy of Joe Pigger's 121st minute strike in that playoff final. That goal, after the birth of my kids, is my life highlight. No matter where I go or what I do, that will be the best moment I'll ever get in a football ground. I watch these memories when I'm feeling down. I've watched them a lot recently. I've made lifelong friendships thanks to the crazy days of coach travel 30 years ago. I can see the floodlights from my garden, and that's not an accident. I had to be persuaded not to call one of my kids Stan.
Is very good. A fine individual goal. His fans came to expect nothing less.
This club is a massive part of my life, and I'm not alone when I say this. I'm old enough to understand that at this level, you make the most of these highlights. You cherish them. For every highlight, there's going to be a low light. The relegation season, the disappointment of being on the wrong end of a cup shot, or a humbling home defeat by local rivals. These will always be more common than the highs, but we learn to live with them because you know a better day will come along. But will they? It's no secret I didn't see eye to eye with one of your immediate predecessors. The way I see it, football chairmen are a bit like politicians. You have to have them, but you don't have to like them. Even so, in '98 you come in, a change of direction, clearing the debts. It was a positive start. We ended up in the Championship in '06 on the back of 2 wonderful seasons.
Blues are going up. They are champions.
But we couldn't sustain it. Within 3 years, we're back in the basement, players going unpaid, facing winding up orders and starting the season with almost no squad. As I write this, we're struggling for survival at the foot of League Two and looking extremely unlikely to produce a great escape. We've got the worst team I've ever seen represent Southend. It's the culmination of 3 years of what can only be described as the most appalling man management of a football club I've ever witnessed. We've had a shambles of a transfer policy, highly paid injury-prone pros who don't care about the club, who've since been replaced by cheaper injury-prone players, loanees or kids. And that's really unfair on the kids who got thrown into this madness when they aren't ready. We've had managers who shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a professional football outfit. How many times have we been facing winding up orders? I think the last one was the 19th. That's incredible. So it does appear the money's there and you've chosen not to pay it. It seems inconsequential that this results in transfer embargos and panic buying. How many times have players not been paid? Regardless of how they act or perform, they've got contracts. How do you think that affects the reputation of our club? Would you come to a side with a history of not paying players, being in embargos, chased by the taxman and bottom of the league? We were crying out for a centre forward in January, but no one comes. It's not a surprise. It's not really a good career move, is it? I said last season, after we were thumped 7-1 at home by Doncaster, that things couldn't get any worse. Well, they have. Week in, week out, my wife questions why I put myself through it. We're a laughingstock on social media. Even the people at work who don't follow football have learned that on a Monday morning they can have a laugh at my expense. Watching Southend United recently is like watching your pet being put to sleep on a weekly basis. It's bad for your soul, it's bad for your mental health, it's just bad. But actually, they're not laughing at my expense. They're laughing at all of us. You, me, the club, the town. Oh, you come from Southend, they say, and quickly follow it up with a dig at my team. Or even worse, pity. I don't think you realise that. I don't think you understand the utter joke that this club has become. From pushing from the League One playoffs to propping up the league in just over 3 years. Do you remember the milk advert that suggested if you don't drink it, you play for Accrington Stanley? A town that carelessly lost its football club and in doing so its identity. Let us not end up there. Let us not be like the towns in Scotland that empty on a Saturday as the locals head off to watch the big Glasgow team. Please, Ron, let's not be that town. We see statements from you that bear no connection to our position. There is no point in a nice, shiny, new stadium if we are struggling at the wrong end of the National League. Your attitude of, if you build it, they will come, will not work. Don't believe me? Visit Darlington. Right now, not one of us cares about the new ground. We care about retaining our Football League status and hopefully building on that. It's the hope that kills. I don't fall into a grouping that shouts and protests. I come to watch football, support my team and see my mates. I don't believe shouting and protesting achieves anything. But what I do want to know is what kind of future can we look forward to? I hope a future where I can see our team extend our 100-year tenure in the Football League. A future that provides for my son to take his son and continue my family support into a fifth generation and beyond. A future where I can once again be proud rather than pitied to support the mighty Southend United. Yes, this is a measured rant, but it is one from someone who cares deeply and passionately. It's not a personal criticism of you, Ron. It's a plea for better times. It's a plea for a coherent transfer policy. It's a plea for some respect for the people who part week in, week out with hard-earned money to watch their local football team. But most of all, it's a plea for us to be able to once again be proud of this club. Yours, Kerry.